Trevor Lawrence was among several Clemson players who came to the defense of head coach Dabo Swinney. This comes after Dabo received criticism for not firing an assistant coach for using a racial slur and also wearing a shirt that said "Football Matters" just last weekend. So Shannon, if you played for Dabo, and I know you guys have a relationship, would you be publicly supporting him now?
No, I'll be like Jerry Jones. My silence would be deafening. I wouldn't say a thing.
Good.
Because I think the thing is, Skip Bayless, we're not denying that Dabo is a very good coach. There's no question about that. He's brought Clemson into prominence. When you talk about the Alabamas and you talk about the top-tier programs, you must put Clemson in there. Now, Clemson was always a good program, Skip, but they're in title contention every single season the last 6-7 years. And that's Dabo. Give him his credit. But Skip, I understand that he's a great coach and, he's given me a scholarship, but you have to understand, there's a difference, players, between being a black player playing for Clemson and then taking that uniform off and being a black man in society.
Yep.
You're not going to always have on that orange and white. You're not going to always have that tiger paw print helmet on your head. So you must understand that. Dabo has told you how he feels. Dabo doesn't care about these issues. Dabo care about winning football games, and if young black men can help him win football games, that's Dabo. Dabo said some things when Cap was doing what he did in the beginning that caused me to raise my eyebrows, Skip, because I've heard this before when people get upset. You saw this a lot with immigration. It's always, Skip, go back to where you come from. Leave the country. Dabo uttered that. And when they asked him about it 2 weeks ago, he said it was harsh. He didn't apologize. And nobody called him on that. They didn't say, Dabo, you're not sorry. He said it was harsh. So now I'm looking at you kind of side. I'm being honest, Skip, especially in today's time, as conscious as young black men are today. Nah, I'm going to need you to show support for this cause. I'm going to need you to tackle it deliberately. I understand you're a coach. I appreciate you giving me a scholarship. But what players must understand, Skip, also, is that the scholarship is contingent. It's a year-to-year deal. You don't get that scholarship and says, okay, I'm here for 4 years. That's on if Dabo likes what you're doing or not. And I think people need to understand that. Dabo, he's great. Those black men can do something for Dabo. What we're asking from people like Dabo Swinney, that look like Dabo, that has a voice that's influential, is to say something, speak on something for women, young men and young women that can do nothing for you, Dabo. That's what we're asking. You ain't got to give a dime. Your voice is the currency that we need. Your influence is the currency. So no, I'm not speaking. No, hell no. I'm not saying a word. Shannon, what do you think? Dabo's a good coach. And I'm going to leave it at that.
So I made some notes last night after I read this. And the first thing I wrote down was say nothing. Say nothing.
Yeah.
This is not a time for defending. This is a time for calling out and standing by who you called out, standing by what you said.
Right.
And it's not a time for trying to take someone off the hot seat. It's time to heat it up.
Yes.
Excuse me, and keep it heated. And they're trying to let Dabo off the hook for many reasons. There's an old cliche about, I can criticize my wife, but you better not.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what's operating here.
Correct.
Is that, a few former Clemson players called him out. They should have. He needed to be yelled out because he was so wrong on so many fronts. And now it's because there's been a flood of national criticism coming down on Dabo. Now it's to the point that all of a sudden some of the ex-stars are saying, well, that's not fair. Even DeAndre Hopkins is saying, well, he's a great coach. We get that.
Yeah.
He's 69-5 in his last 5 years.
Ain't nobody, we were asking him about a coach as a coach.
No, we're not talking about that. Yeah. No one has a better record over the last 5 years than Dabo Swinney.
Nope.
But Christian Wilkins, his former star who's now playing for the Dolphins, said, I see a lot of different things being said about him that I don't necessarily agree with because I know him personally. So you're saying your friendship with him, your kinship with him in a football context, is overriding the external criticism.
Right.
Oh, well, you can't say that. I could say that. And Christian Wilkins goes on to say, I know his intentions and I know his heart and I know he's a great coach. Okay, we don't care about that at this moment, okay? Granted, he might not have said all the right things. He might have said some things that people disagree with and that maybe I disagree with. Yeah, you better believe he did.
Exactly.
But that just shows where someone like me could really help Coach Swinney. Okay, you could. I kept reading quotes yesterday from Clemson players, ex-players. It's time to help educate Dabo. Okay, I'll buy that.
You know what?
Okay.
That man.
Okay, but if Shannon Sharp played for him, I believe you would ask if you could have a conversation, a private conversation with him.
Yes, I like to think
I'm
so.
not sure you'd be trying to educate. You'd be trying to cross-examine.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You said what? Why? Can you please explain? Can you go a little deeper into that? Because there was the use of the N-word by an assistant coach. And again, Dabo defended it and said, well, I had no issue with it because the black player said the N-word about another black player. And the coach said, we don't say that. Okay, and so then the N-word tumbles out of the white coach's mouth. No, you can't say that.
Exactly.
That's it. Period. End of story. It's over right there. And Dabo did not go far enough to defuse that situation, and I think it festered.
Well, Skip, I don't know how it is, but I don't know. It'd be hard to field a team in college or NFL if they said, black people, you can't say the N-word to other black players. I don't know how you feel a team, Skip.
Well, remember, they tried to sort of police that during games. This is going back to 2014.
Yeah.
My friend John Wooten, running the Fritz Pollard Alliance, over the Rooney Rule, he said, he's old school, block for Jim Brown in Cleveland.
Right.
And John cannot abide the new form of the N-word, drained of its poison by the black community, as said as something black to black. It's like a term of endearment. Yes.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's yours.
Yeah.
That's yours. You took that word and you put an A on the end of it.
Certain ethnic group ethnicities have what if somebody else said it, it's derogatory, but they say it to one another. I'm not here trying to regulate speech how gay and lesbian people should be able to communicate.
Right.
I don't do that. Y'all got y'all language, women to women, y'all say things to each other. That's y'all. Y'all have at it.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm trying to do. But don't you come up here trying to regulate my my speech pattern and how I communicate with my fellow peers.
Right.
Especially black to black.
So John Wooten, who's now late 70s, I think. Yeah. So he used to tell me, no, he said, do you realize how many black men died for that word? And I said, not exactly that word. You're talking about that word that ends in that hard ER.
Right.
That's the word. That's the most evil, vile word in this language.
Right.
Should be eradicated. Right. But John said, well, I don't care what form it's in. Well, no, Shannon would say, okay.
We different, John. I know John and has been around him a lot, Skip, but it's just different now.
Okay.
It's just different.
All right. And then it was clear to me that Dabo discouraged his players from going to a protest. It was over racist symbols used on
the building John C. Calhoun.
Yes, exactly.
Who was the former vice president, Skip.
Bingo. and I don't think Dabo wanted his football players involved because he said, you're not going to be Johnny Joe, the student out there. You're going to be a football player in the middle of this, and what if it goes the wrong direction? You better find out what the agenda is.
Well,
right?
I think the thing was Dabo was afraid of is that the media was going to ask his players questions, and then they was going to have to answer those questions about John C. Calhoun and what he stood for and who he was and why his name should not be on a building, even though Clemson was built on a slave plantation.
It was. He was a slave owner.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's the only vice president to resign of his own volition, Skip. While in office, he got so upset. Because if I'm not mistaken, the way it works, Skip, if I ran against you, you won the presidency, I was the vice president because I got the second most votes. Okay. So he had a conflict with Andrew Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, and so he's like, no, I'm done. Y'all trying to I forget what it was, but it was. That's what he did do.
Okay, and finally, and this was the most offensive to me, and I said this was beyond even what Drew Brees said. Right. This was worse. Just last weekend, in the middle of the firestorm, the great firestorm that is nationwide, it's worldwide, Dabo goes public wearing a Football Matters T-shirt. Are you kidding me? And his quote was, I think black lives significantly and equally matter. Well, he's basically saying all lives matter.
Right.
And I told you Monday, no, this is the time, this is the issue of Black lives mattering to law enforcement. That's what we're talking about right now, Dabo.
Right.
And he didn't get it because of that elite, white, oblivious insensitivity that we see is rampant. I think Drew Brees suffered from it when he made his remark.
Right.
And Dabo's just oblivious to what's really happening out in the world because it doesn't help him win football games. Football matters.
Right.
I thought he made a big, bold statement. This is what really matters to me is football matters.
Exactly.
Except you have a lot of black kids are making you look pretty good, right, in football?
It's see, and the notion somehow has been hijacked. We're not saying Black lives matter more. We're saying they matter. Because the way you're looking at it is that they don't matter. We're saying they matter, not more, they matter. So all we're asking is that we get an equal representation in the law, of the law for justice. That's what we're saying. Skip, the reason why, you know why? People didn't really get upset at Dabo. Man, I expected that from Dabo. Drew Brees wears that. You see what the fry storm Drew Brees got? Because you don't expect that. You expect nothing less. And see, Skip, Dabo always got that car. When you talk to Dabo about black, he's going to pull out Woody McCorvey. That's my mentor. He was my position coach at Alabama. He became he was the offensive coordinator. I became his wide receiver coach. And I brought him to Clemson. He's going to pull that. So he's one of these guys. Dabo seems to me, he got one of these guys. He got a black friend, a gay friend. He got an Asian